And the Trump administration is following through on the promise to step up the fight against ISIS. And that includes sending hundreds of additional U.S. troops to Syria. General Jack Keane is a retired four-star general and Fox News military analyst. I'm always so happy to have you on the program, and it's always so great to talk to you and get your perspective on this. So I want to ask you, what's your take on the plan? Is this number a good one, 500 more troops?
Actually, it's going to be probably considerably more than that. We're seeing the first installments. What actually has taken place here, we've been involved in this for 2.5 years. And in those 2.5 years, we have made 12 incremental troop increases to our participation in Iraq and Syria. This is all going back to the fact that, Laura, we've never had a campaign plan to defeat ISIS. So the Joint Chiefs, I spoke to one of them 2 days ago, they have been working for 2 months on a campaign plan for the first time that deals comprehensively with defeating ISIS in Iraq and Syria, but also undermining their finances and also undermining their activities in 30-plus countries. So this is the first time they've done it. It's right for the president to ask them to do it, and we're just seeing the initial installments. Right.
This is just the beginning. What about the proposal of sending 1,000 American soldiers to Kuwait to serve in a reserve force?
Well, they'll be part of enablers, as we call it. The fighting forces are in Iraq, helping the Iraqis fight. There'll be some fighting forces, frankly, in Syria. We're going to have some Rangers there, some special operation forces, likely Apache helicopters. We also know there's artillery on the ground. How much conventional U.S. troops will be on the ground, that hasn't been revealed yet. We'll see what that may be or may not be. And I think the president is right. He doesn't have to tell us all of what's going on right now. At some point, if he's going to put a significant amount of increased American soldiers at risk, then he'll have to come forward and talk to the American people about it.
And you mentioned Iraq. Many are comparing the military strategy in Syria to what we saw happen in Mosul. How similar is the situation? Is there a similar situation going on?
Yeah, there are similarities. Certainly, it's classic urban fighting, the toughest fighting that ground troops go through. In Mosul, we're talking about block by block, building by building, and room by room that is layered with IEDs, mines, booby traps. It is very tough, very demanding. They use human shields to protect them from our air power. In Raqqa, Syria, it'll be much the same.
I wanted to ask you about the funding with all of this, and Trump's proposed budget. And will it make a difference? Is it the right amount? What do you think about the funding for this? Are we in the right ballpark?
Well, his initial proposal of $54 billion, I think, is inadequate. We need about, round numbers, about $100 billion a year for 4 years to get us out of this incredible hole that the previous administration has put us into in terms of the readiness of our forces, the capabilities that we truly need. I mean, we've had a chief of staff of the Army this year say that the United States Army is at high risk to win a conventional war. No one has ever said that in 40 years.
I wonder when you get phone calls, when we hear the news, and then people, I assume, call you, we call you and say, help us understand. How do you tell the American people, how do you explain how serious this is? Because it is beyond what you can comprehend when you see the videos, when you see the things that most of us don't even see online.
Yeah. Well, it comes in three bunches. One is the readiness, is the training and preparedness to fight. 50 to 75% of the aircraft that we fly are not ready to fly in combat. That's depending on which service you're talking about.
Right.
Of the combat brigades that the United States Army has, 58 combat brigades, they do the lion's share of the fighting. Only 3 could go to war today. Those are incredible numbers I'm talking about. They should be headlines.
Right.
Because it's such a serious problem. And the other thing is, so our audience knows, is that we have fallen behind technology-wise. Okay. The gap has closed on us.
Very interesting, General Jack Keane. Thank you so much for your perspective. Always appreciate it.
Good talking to you.
All right.